Look, if you have been watching those Ghana ruined my life videos, you really might be thinking that this place is a disaster. But the truth is this: Ghana was never meant for everybody.
That's right. In this video, we're cutting through the noise.
We're talking about the real reason why so many Americans right now are thinking about leaving the US and where they're planning to go, and why Ghana should or maybe shouldn't be on your list.
If you're thinking about Ghana, Africa, or just getting out of America, the US, Trump land.
Oh, you don't say his name.
Dump land. We've got some things you need to hear because they could change your future.
Yes. So let's get this video started.
Akwaba, welcome to Expat Life Ghana. I'm Tony, and this is my wife, Ayo. We are documenting our move from Texas to Ghana as we go beyond the return.
So as we get this video started, I want you all to be honest. If you could move anywhere in the world tomorrow, or maybe Monday, no strings attached, where would you go? And more importantly, why would you go there?
Yeah, why? So if you already know it's Ghana, then grab our free relocation guide, and the link is in the description box and in the chat.
Actually, I can put up I have a QR. I'm going to put up the QR code, Tony. Let me see if I can get it up.
Better.
I know, right? Like, look, there it is. If you want that relocation guide, you can grab that right here with this QR code. The description box also has the link. But we have been doing quite a few conference consultations lately with people who are planning their relocation or a Ghana tour. And I feel like the sentiment of the people we've been talking to has been kind of consistent.
Yeah, it's I think a lot of people, that fear is starting to set in of, what the heck is going to happen next.
Yes.
It's scary.
Well, and that's what people feel like. People feel like it feels like people are scared.
I'd be scared too. Not knowing what's coming next.
We're still there. Oh, sorry. We're still there.
Yeah, not knowing what's coming next. Not knowing what crazy executive order is going to come through that will affect your life in one way or the other. Not knowing, what price of goods are going to be from today to tomorrow. If your 401k is tanking.
So it's just a lot.
It's a lot to unpack.
But that's what people are really telling us when we get on these conference calls. They're really telling us that it feels like a lot. And we have the benefit of not being there, so we're not immersed in that feeling. But I thought it was really interesting. There was a study that came out recently, and I thought we could share a little bit of it here because I think some of these numbers are a little shocking. Americans considering or planning to relocate outside of the U.S. Planning or considering.
42%.
That's like half.
Yeah, it's just under half, and that's a lot. Planning or considering. They're like, yo.
That's like half. Half of Americans are like, listen, we gotta go. I thought this number was insane. Gen Z, 63% of Gen Zs, 52% of millennials. Gen X is 32%, and baby boomers was about 26%.
I think it's like the older you get, the less.
Do you think you have like the benefit?
You're trying to leave?
The benefit of like a longer experience that you're like, this will pass. It will pass. Do you think
I think a lot of people have that mentality. Oh, we've been through this, we've been through that. This is just another thing. And from my eyes in the past,
however many years.
For me, it's like, no, this is very different. This is not something that, I feel like as a black man, black men are being included in, and we have to fight to get that inclusivity. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah, okay, close enough. Anyway, but it's like now it's like, hey, we don't even want y'all, no opinions, y'all just do whatever you're gonna do. That's kind of how it feels, and I'm like, well,
so do you think that's why older folks are kind of like,
yeah, they're not affected by it. They're like, well, I'm just gonna collect my pension check and sit out on the porch. And I think people right above me, I'm at that age where it's like, okay, you can say we had enough, or you be like, hey man, I'm going downhill anyway, why change now? And I'm like, man,
you're at that Gen X number, so it's like
about I'm at 32%. Yeah. So I just think there's a lot of older people are set in their ways, and you can tell by the numbers. More younger people, but it's really on them.
Younger folks are like, listen,
they're like, this some bull. They're the ones who
exactly
had history books that they could read. They were like, yo, this some bull.
Well, I thought the next couple slides, the stats that were coming out of here, I thought were really interesting. But the next one here, I thought was also very telling, was that there's a very clear reason why people want to relocate. And the big thing here is the half of people are looking for a lower cost of living.
Yeah.
And I think this really feeds into the idea of like the American dream, right? Like how much of the American dream is a reality for most people.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people, they leave from here and they complain as soon as they get to America. We got to work too hard over there. And they come back here, they're, hey, man, the struggle is real in America. Struggle is real. You got to work 2-3 jobs just to, say I saved something.
Yeah.
And they're finding that out over there that, it's expensive to live in America right now.
I know we still run into, there are lots of people in Ghana who still kind of romanticize the idea of going to the United States, and they'll ask about it all the time. And that's kind of the 2 cents we give, which is, yes, you're going to make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. How much of that money do you get to keep?
Yeah. I mean, unless you can find a really sturdy cardboard box, cost of living is high in the United States.
The rents are insanity. Mm-hmm. So
and what's crazy is people are preferring to move in their van or car, live in their car, than to rent a house.
Well,
that's wild.
The rent costs are insane. And that is actually why our next video is going to be, Can You Afford Ghana? So that is the next video that's coming out. If you are not already getting notifications, if you are not already subscribed, we are actually going to break down how much we spend every month to live here in Ghana.
I don't even know how much we spend.
I know, because I am the one with the eye on the budget. So if you are interested in budgeting things out, definitely check out that video. It will be coming out next Friday. Now, half of people are frustrated with the political climate, and 43% higher quality of life. But I think that the cost of living and quality of life kind of hand in hand, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, so are you so far feeling like we did this move a long time ago? Were those the reasons that we made the move? Like, has nothing changed? Or do you think
initially, well, we made the move for more personal reasons.
Yes.
But at the same time, it was like, I don't like, it's a great time to have our personal reasons to get up out of here.
I mean, I think there was still a lot of quality of life things for you. I feel like that was a very big part of that decision-making process. But again, to speak to this idea of how people are feeling, in terms of the American dream, 68% of Americans feel like they are stuck in survival mode and they cannot get out. And that is 77% of people who make less than $50,000 a year, but still 73% of people who make between $50,000 and $100,000 a year, which again kind of speaks to the expense, right? Where it's like
you're working just to, money's coming in, going right back out.
I always used to say when we were in the States that it was like, I don't actually hold money. It just passes through me. It's just like I get paid and then it goes out. Mm-hmm. It's really hard. And I think that's the catalyst in this moment for like how people are feeling.
Yeah.
But it's not just a certain demographic that's feeling this way.
Yeah.
The LGBTQIA plus demographic definitely is feeling a little more that their rights are under attack, 67%. But American women, 58%. 58% of American women are feeling like their rights are under threat. And for people of color, 57%. This feels like a lot.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot.
As a Black American woman, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, I kind of,
Yeah. And just the past 3-4 months, that the Black American woman, the Black woman in America, I should say, has been calling us, emailing us more than ever, saying, hey,
we ready to go.
Yeah, this ain't for us.
Well, and I think, we're starting this video kind of talking about all of these stats, largely because I think it's really important that people who might be feeling this way know that they're not the only one, that this is like something that a lot of different people are feeling. But what I also thought was really interesting, again, if you haven't gotten a relocation guide, definitely grab that. There's the QR code up on the screen. What I think is really interesting is the countries that are being reported as where people want to go. So this was where Americans want to go, according to this same survey. Yeah. Let's look at these heavy hitters.
I can understand Canada.
It's close.
The UK.
Speaks English speaking.
Australia, that's crazy to me. You seen them spiders in Australia? No, thank you. France.
Sorry, did spider turn you off? That was it?
They got spiders big as dogs in Australia. No, thank you.
Okay, so then we just put a little asterisk next to that one.
Yeah, France. I just couldn't see that happening. Italy, that's not for everybody. Japan, very welcoming. Mexico, it's spotty.
Mexico City is a big draw for folks right
now. But Mexico is spotty.
All right, okay,
you land in the wrong place. Spain, I don't understand that one, but
really?
but it's not for I'm just thinking broader, but I can understand, but it wouldn't be me. Germany, I guess I can understand that, and New Zealand, yes, I can understand that one as well. But
when I look at this list, it doesn't look like it represents us.
No, and you know where we're going.
I know where we are.
I know where we are, yeah.
Well, but before you even say that, like, I look at some of these countries up here, and I think a lot of these countries are facing their own challenges with systemic racism.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So this list is not...
That's not
our list.
That's not our list.
So where are people trying to go?
Our list is Panama, Belize, Ghana, and someplace else. I can't remember the other one, but there's a list of these places where
there are. But on the continent, there's a few that are the strongest draw right now, and those are Ghana, South Africa, and Kenya.
Yeah, I don't understand South Africa.
Well, we just had a conference call with someone who was recently in South Africa, and they said that they had never experienced racism as bad as when they were there, and they were like, coming from America.
They weren't enjoying. It was in
it's in Cape Town, right?
Cape Town.
And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So this list of African countries that are the draw is a little bit.
Yeah. And and the racism there wasn't from a white person.
It was not.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't understand that one.
I guess it was racism, or is it more colorism? Maybe a little more colorism.
Yeah, could be colorism.
Yeah, could be that. Well, so these are all the stats that are driving this conversation. However, that is not the only thing driving this conversation. Y'all know we read the comments y'all put into the comments.
Yeah, y'all can be mean sometimes. Y'all hurt my feelings once in a while.
I got a little salty in the comments the other day. It was late. I shouldn't be in comments after 9 p.m. I think I start to get loose with my language. But
when I'm responding to a comment, I'm like, listen here. If you ever come to Ghana,
can you tell the difference between when I have comments and you have comments?
Yeah.
Well, there was one comment that came through that really kind of had me a little bit like, and so I'm going to share that with y'all. But before I do, let's just jump in the comments for a moment and make sure that we take a second to say hi to folks that have joined us for this live. Hello,
Boy.
Rita.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Daryl. I had a friend named Daryl. Every time we did anything, we'd chat, Daryl. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know either.
I saw Daryl. I'm like, yeah, Daryl.
Anita says if she had to choose a country, it would definitely be Ghana because she's been there before. She says she too feels like she needs to get out of here. She's preparing for her move, and she wants to thank us for the info because it's been a while.
20 years. Wow, Ghana's changed a lot. So
yeah. So she says she will be here soon.
Great.
Physical health is a big factor among boomers' decision not to move elsewhere.
Yeah.
My daughter's rent, 1 bedroom is more than my mortgage for a 4-bedroom. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Ms. Joanne says, good evening, beautiful fam.
Hey.
We're going to old ways of canning our fruits and vegetables and learning survival skills. Like
that is wow.
That is wild.
And we sitting over here like y'all living in an underdeveloped country.
You did not just call America underdeveloped. We're never going to
underdeveloped. It is. It's mentally underdeveloped.
Pretty. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. What's up?
Hey y'all.
Expat retirement life. South Africa, Cape Town has the infrastructure, but I was very uncomfortable there.
Yeah.
Hello. Voice Matters. It's Natalie from Canada.
Hello.
We'll be in
How
touch
are
soon.
you?
Hello. So yeah, I think it's been.
Oh, Hugh Williams. Yeah, it's been
Hugh.
a while. Yeah, I haven't seen that name in a while.
Yes. Hello. Hope you guys glad you are here. Hey Kwame, good to see you. Willie, good to see you as well.
Willie Jackson.
So yeah, I was just thinking to myself, this comment is still burning in the back of my head.
Okay, so I had to hear this comment that got you all up in arms.
It did, be one of those where we're like, Tony, you got to see what this person said. Okay, so here's the comment. I did not edit it at all. I should have put the person's name, but I chose not to. See how I'm above it, right? I'm above it. Here's the comment.
I would have busted them out.
It says, you do not have a good medical system. The schools are not good. The electrical grid is constantly shutting down. Everything is like a scam over there. As a single woman, you can't do as a man does. Women are getting violated over there. Rent is like American prices over there. Please tell the truth. That place is not feasible for most
I could
people.
break each and every one of those down line by line.
I feel like that would be a good video. We should do that.
Oh, we're not doing that right now?
Yeah, we're totally going to do that right now.
Oh, okay, because I'm like, hey. So let's start with you don't have a good medical system.
So this is something I think, like, as we recap kind of back to the different ages of folks that are looking to relocate, I think the person who made a comment about older folks being kind of anchored by healthcare, I think is very true. But what is your take on the healthcare?
Take on healthcare is people are dying in the waiting rooms of hospitals because.
Wait, here or there?
No, they're in the States.
Oh, I was like,
people are dying in the waiting room of hospitals in the States because there's issues with how are they going to pay for service. And people are literally dying because they can't afford medical care in the States.
I will spin that up and say,
spin it, because I have something for the spin.
Well, I'm maybe just rephrasing that. It's not unusual for a person to get sick in the States and feel like they can't seek medical attention because they can't afford it, their insurance won't cover it, or they can't afford what their insurance won't cover.
I get that.
But like dying in the waiting rooms seems a little.
No,
dramatic.
it's happening. No drama involved. It's happening. Trust me, it's happening. Another thing on healthcare, people going bankrupt. They have a surgery, and they're going bankrupt. They can't afford the medical bills. And then depending on where you are in America, it depends on what kind of healthcare you get. If you're in a good community, you might get good healthcare. If you're in a poor community, you're going to get poor healthcare. So to say health and wellness and our medical is this or that, it's a pay-to-play system with medical care in America.
But is that different than it is here? It's pay to play here.
Yeah, it is.
Like it is very hard to get healthcare.
At the same time,
money.
America is the only Western developed country that doesn't have universal health care.
Yes, I concur. But I don't want this to devolve into an America versus Ghana debate.
Let's go. I'm ready for it.
So I'm going to try to keep us on the Ghana edge. When it comes to health, when it comes to health and wellness, you can access Western trained doctors here in Ghana. Mm-hmm. There are quite a few doctors from America who have left America to come to Ghana or come back home and open medical practices here. So this idea that there's no good doctors or no doctors that you will like, or you can't access health and wellness is really quite wrong. What's more important is that the cost to access that health and wellness is much cheaper.
Affordable. Very affordable.
So I think of even Leo was the last one of us who had to go to the hospital. Mr.
I'm gonna break a bone.
Mr.
Try my best to.
Yeah. So he went to get a checkup. We did, an exam with the doctor. He had to have X-rays. Did he have two X-rays of his shoulder? Yeah. 2 X-rays, a follow-up, and I think even the doctor called us twice. So I think we even had 2 tele follow-ups. And the doctor themselves, not a nurse or anyone else, the doctor actually called. And all in all, it was less than $100. Yeah. That was cash out of pocket.
And the doctor called.
And then included the sling and the medicine and everything. That was, I don't think I ever went to a doctor in the States less than $100. Yeah, not in the last
I had a pretty
20 years.
Major surgery here, and they gave me the bill. They didn't even tell me what the bill was. They just, you need surgery.
We didn't ask. You needed surgery, so we were like,
need surgery.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, I need surgery. I'm getting ready to fill out paperwork. Come on, man. Surgery back here. Go ahead, have surgery, come back out, and they gave you the bill like, wait, this is the bill for the surgery I had? You ought to do something right because this bill is awfully low. But that was the bill. So
we could not believe that bill. Mm-hmm. Surgery.
Excellent healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to shout out Luca Health because they're
it was Luca
one
Health.
of the top-notch health facilities here in Ghana.
We do have a video if you are trying to check that out and you want to kind of see more about the experience. I think we did an interview. It's been a little bit, though.
Yeah,
maybe I'm going to push you down a flight of stairs so we can get back over there.
Okay, we all heard that. We all heard that. We all heard that. It's not just me.
If you fall down
she is trying to kill me. Y'all heard. It's not just me.
If you fall down a flight of stairs. Look out. How you feeling?
And
maybe
call
we should
IGP. That was a direct threat.
Anyway. So there's that. So the health and wellness issue as part of that comment, I understand the sentiment, the idea that a developing country cannot have a solid medical infrastructure is a prevalent misconception. But it's important to understand that although it may not be a prevalent infrastructure, and yes, you have to know what the clinic name is that you want to go to. And if you are in a fender bender, you're definitely going to want to know where is a hospital in your neighborhood that you feel like is the place to go. Ambulance services are not like they are there, but you can grab a cab right out the door. And people are taking Ubers to hospitals in the States because they can't afford the ambulance. My point here is this, is that we are not devoid of health and wellness. And to kind of like make a comment like, oh, Ghana, no health care at all is just not true.
That's crazy.
Just not true. So here was the second part of that comment, and that was about education.
I'm gonna let you handle this one.
Well,
I'm gonna sip my tea.
I am an educator. I have spent a long time dissecting what education is and should be, and especially in this age of AI, which I wrote a book.
You wrote. I was going to say you wrote a book.
I did write a book about it. And as I look at the impact of technology in terms of educational advancements, not only in the United States, but globally, what I can definitely tell you is the landscape for what education is going to look like is changing so rapidly, and America's not keeping pace. And I'm not turning this into an America, us, them kind of thing. What I'm saying is that other countries, that mainly European countries or Asian countries, are really so far ahead of where a lot of Western countries are sitting in terms of AI adoption, implementation, and early instruction. And there's a struggle there. Now, with all of that said, Ghana's not on the cutting edge of AI technology and integration into education, but the country is very young, and I feel like they're going to be early adopters. I feel like they're going to be in that next wave of folks. But with that said, if you came to Ghana tomorrow and you wanted to put your kid in a school that was going to teach them really well, you can find it. There's international schools. You can't throw a rock
all over
without hitting an international school. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
It just becomes, how much do you want to spend on what type of education, and how many kids do you have to multiply that by?
Yeah, you can say, hey, this kid is destined for greatness, and that kid thinks red tastes like the Brussels sprouts. I don't know. So one of them kids may have to go to a different kind of school, but you're spending money where it's going to pay off the most.
Well, Ghana is a very well-educated country. I think you just dogged out our kids, and I'm trying to roll over it. Like, which one is the one that licked the paint? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a coin cost on that one. I'm sorry, our IT guy is very awesome, and I would definitely
yes.
pay for his schooling.
So, do you think that you can come here with a kid and get a quality education?
Absolutely. And if you don't feel like the Ghana school system is doing enough, you can always go online, find a online curriculum to help you. So I mean, I don't fall into that Ghana can't educate kids correct. These kids are coming out smart.
Well, but here's where that myth and reality kind of come into play. If you're coming to Ghana and you think, I'm going to get free education for my kids on par with what I'm used to and in the same format and in the same kind of system, that's not reality. And if that's what you're thinking, then of course, when you get here, you're going to be surprised and shocked. And if that's what you are expecting, then maybe Ghana's not for you. We did do a consult, it's been a long time now, with somebody who had 4 kids, I think. That 3 of them had special needs, yeah. And they were asking about the education system here and how it was going to support them. And I was like, you shouldn't come. Ghana's not for you. Because you're going to...
Not in that, with that support system for special needs.
So much of a support system. And what they were telling us, they didn't have the means to secure all of that for their kids.
Right.
So Ghana's not for everybody.
Nope.
But that's not to say that you can't get a good education here. That's just baloney. All right, you ready for the next one?
Sure.
Bum, bum, bum. Electricity.
Well, power goes out everywhere. A little more often here, but that's what generators are for. We got a really big generator.
The lights go out.
Yeah, they do.
They do go out. But all the time is not accurate either. So,
and you know what? I think
it's seasonal. I think it's seasonal.
Yeah, definitely. Not only is it seasonal, it's more of where you are. There are some places that they're switching out old transformers still. So it's a developing country. So there's a lot of new things coming in, and you have to take out the old things to put in the new things. So it's a buffer of getting things from where you are to where you want to go. And
yes.
I just don't want to. There's some explanation to the power going out, is what I'm saying. It's not always a grid issue where there's not enough power or something like that. So
well, and I think what's really interesting to note as well is that if this is one of those things where you're like, I am going to lose my if the lights go out, maybe Ghana's not for you.
Ghana is not for you.
Maybe Ghana's not for you. It's okay. There's a whole bunch of other countries you can consider. But you can always get solar. You can always get a generator. Generators, I think, are a little expensive. If you're going to live here permanently, I say invest in solar. If neither of those two things work, learn to chill out when the lights go out. It's going to be okay. But I think like that's just one of those things. Ghana's not for you. I work online. I need electricity in order to work. I have had the power go out while I was teaching a class online.
Yeah, that's wild when that happens.
A couple of times.
Yeah.
And you learn to adapt and you make those adjustments. And 5 years, it still has not been an issue. Knock on wood. But just know like that if this is one of those make or breaks for you, just plan accordingly.
Mm-hmm. It's not that big of a deal, except for if it goes out at night and AC turns off and you're like me, I need to sleep under AC. Then it's an issue. But you just wake up early, 2:00 in the morning, ready to start your day.
Water has also been acknowledged as sometimes being an issue. You can lose water. We've learned in our time here that it's just important for you to have a reservoir of some sort to capture water so that if it does go out where you are not out of water. And since doing that, I can't think of the last time we've had water issue.
We got those big old poly tanks,
Got a big old poly tank.
Yeah. And if you're watching the show coming from America and you saw we had those little blue barrels, that was our first house. Yeah,
that was our first try.
Yeah,
see
we learned. Hey, y'all need to get a poly tank, man. So we've learned.
So that was the next little note. We've got one more here. Y'all don't have good internet.
We got pretty good internet.
Well, we're on with you right now.
When it works, when the power's not out.
We can get internet even when the power's out, because I've done that before where we did it by mobile instead of broadband.
Oh yeah.
But there are places in Ghana where internet is consistent. It's no problem. Mm-hmm. And then there's other places where internet is spotty and sometimes a problem. And if this is one of those things that you need, then make a choice in an appropriate way or get satellite internet.
That's why I like going up to the mountains of the Bree. Can't get internet. Oh, jumping on ATV. See you later.
You like it that there's no internet. They're like, what are we gonna do now?
Oh, time to go drinking. No.
Well, I can tell you from our experience, 5 years ago, coming in and using internet was a challenge. We definitely had challenges.
Yeah, I think it's been progressively getting better.
I
we
think
got 5G now.
I think it's so much better now.
Yeah.
I mean, broadband in the neighborhood, 5G for mobile network. We got internet. We're good.
3 different carriers just in case.
Well, yeah.
One goes out, you got
because if I'm working and one goes out, I need a backup. So, but to know that you are able to do that is no problem. Now, I have been on conference calls with people in other countries, in Western countries, who've had their internet go out during a call. Mm-hmm. So, we do struggle. And Tony, rightly so, brought up the water issue in Flint.
They're celebrating a 10-year anniversary. That's nothing to celebrate of not having running water that you can drink. And so, 10 years, the city of Flint in Michigan, a state in the U.S., still no running water.
It runs.
No. It'll make you run, too. Don't drink that water.
Don't drink it. So we're going to jump in the comments here for a second.
Yeah, if you're here, like.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And subscribe if you aren't a subscriber. Do all that stuff right now. Do it. Do it. Or I'll ever push you down the stairs.
Yeah. No comment on that one. So we've got Matthew here. Matthew says he just bought a house in Burkina Faso, and is planning on building a house there. That's close by.
Yeah, it is.
We should come and visit.
Yeah, I know. Love your president there.
Chuck says, hello. Have to say that they did love Kenya as well, and now they're just deciding which destination will be the right one for them.
Chuck, make your decision after you bring your guys here next year for the tour.
He says it's nuts here, so
yeah.
Bet. Daryl says that person who made the comment has not been traveled.
No.
Hey. Daryl says they pay $1,600 a month for me and my wife. Terrible. Oh my gosh, what is that? Your insurance, Daryl? No, what is it? Yeah, insurance? I'm guessing insurance.
Yeah.
Brother says hello. Quentin says hello from California.
Quentin, how are you, sir?
Hey, Tony, I have patients who come for their dental treatment in Ghana because it's cheaper. You chipped a tooth and you had to go see a dentist. We've had the kids' teeth pulled. We've had cleanings and I don't think any of the places that we've gone to were subpar.
Anyway, yeah.
I have been to some sketchy dentists that were covered in my plan in the strip mall. Are you sure it's okay in here?
Remember that time we went to that one about my knee on the south side? And I was looking around in that waiting room. I was like, I don't need my knee worked on that bad, yo. I'm up. Yeah, that was wild.
It was like you came in the door and you were like, this can't be the right door. Is it?
The sign say what the
no. It was in our plan. That was
yeah. Yeah.
Expat Retirement Life said they had surgery here and the bill was less than their American copay.
Absolutely.
Someone planned on coming from Canada to Ghana, but took a detour and now is living happily in the Caribbean. That's like our cousin. Yeah, cousin. Mm-hmm. It's okay. How about this one?
Shani. I've seen quite a few posts regarding the poor health care given in Ghana and refusal of care because that person may not be able to pay at the time of services in the hospitals. Yep.
Absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And we're not trying to say it's not.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come with a plan and know what you're walking into if you're seriously going to make Ghana work for you. There has to be some kind of infrastructure plan in place for yourself. With that said, the idea that there's no healthcare or there's no quality healthcare is just not right. When we talk about poor healthcare systems, it's based on what people can't afford. And so, yes, there's a large section of the population that can't afford quality healthcare and struggle to access good healthcare.
Yeah.
And in the United States, there's a large section of the population who can't access quality healthcare or don't have the money to afford good healthcare. So when we get people who fly off the handle and are like, oh, there's no healthcare, there's no this, no that, I think we have to reassess what the benchmark is for that quality healthcare. So mm-hmm. I want to make sure that we're being realistic because that's the whole point of the conversation, so that we know that we're grounded.
Yeah, and just to your comment there, Shani, I had a surgery and they didn't tell me how much it was until after the surgery was over. In comparison, I've been to another place here where they were like, yo, it's going to be this, this, and this. I was like, oh, okay. And they looked at me like, no, we need the money now. I was like, oh, okay, got it. Understood. So to proceed. So it really depends on where you go, what you can afford, and what your actual needs are. So,
and there are places here that accept U.S. insurance.
Yes, there definitely is.
So something else to think about.
We had someone staying at the lodge with us who fell ill, and they went and they had they were using their American insurance, and the guy was like, oh, I want to leave. I feel good. They said I can leave, but they won't let me leave until after 3:00. I was like, oh,
we'll bill you one more day.
Yeah, that's another day they can bill you. You know, you stay after 3. You know, it's like, oh. I said, so just sit back, relax, chill. You know, let everybody. Yeah, man, I'm getting great service here. I'm like, well, there you just sit and enjoy.
He did enjoy his hotel experience. I think he didn't want to run all around with the wife as much as he wanted to run around.
Yeah, I think that's what it was
like.
No, I'm gonna wait till 3 o'clock, like they said, baby. You go ahead, do your thing.
Well, so that's another thing that's just really important to consider. We've got someone who says, I'm rethinking relocating to Ghana. Definitely be in Africa, but not Ghana.
Yeah,
not for everybody.
Yeah, it's not, and I can tell you this: price points have a lot to do with it. So if you're like, I'm going to Africa, but just understand, Ghana is one of those places where you can live the Beverly Hills plush lifestyle, or you can live the backwoods Alabama lifestyle, or anything in between. But a lot of other places for that higher living, you're going to pay a lot more for.
And that works anywhere. If you move to New York, you are going to pay more than you pay if you are in South Bend, Indiana. I don't know where that one came up, but that was a random one. My brother offered, if I chose to move to Ghana, I would love it. And if he wants to live with his family, my younger brother, he almost cried.
Yeah.
Somebody's saying, Antonio's saying, are we familiar with Just Vlogs? She does videos on a lot of issues she's encountered, from inflation to landlords to workers at petrol stations getting over on the gas.
We don't follow other people on YouTube or vloggers or bloggers or anything like that. We don't. And I tell people, so we keep our content fresh and our own ideas, what they are, what we see, and we don't want like, oh, they're talking about this, they're doing this, let's do the same. We don't. So no, I can tell you, inflation, landlords, workers at petrol stations getting over on the gas, they're all same problems all around.
But like here's the thing, is that none of those complaints are specific to Ghana, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And the petrol stations, listen, the thing is on the
they tell you, hey, how much gas you want? Fill it up. Okay. And they fill it up. How much gas you want? Oh, 200 CDs. And they get 200 CDs. Oh, I'm starting now. Okay.
Well, they're a little bit OCD about the whole thing. They're like, I'm starting now. And I'm like, okay, I know. Put the gas in.
Look, it's at 0.
I know. I'm like, I got it. I think, and this again comes back to how you make your decisions when you're here on the ground. If you have a bad experience, don't go back to where you've had a bad experience. If you've heard other people have had good experiences or bad experiences, use that information.
And Antonio, let me say this to you. A lot of people, when they talk about Ghana, they're doing it to get likes and build up their subscribers. So saying something nice about Ghana isn't going to do that. But saying something like, oh, this happened to me, oh, that happened to me, in some exaggerated form, people are like, ooh, see, I told you don't go there. Listen. And, when I hear people talk about things like, okay, the petrol station, they try to get me. Why aren't you paying attention? I don't get it.
Because you don't know that you should. There's a learning curve. Ghana is not for everybody. Ghana is not for everybody. And so listen, it might not be for you. Is it bad I say that?
No.
It's not. It's not for everybody.
Because people come with this, oh, it's very welcoming, this, that, and the other. And 90% of people you're going to encounter, 95%, it's the other 5% that, hey, just like in the States, you can't trust everybody.
I don't know if it's 95.5 there. I think stats might be
people usually nice to me for some reason. I have no idea why.
Just because you're such a nice guy.
Yeah. That ain't it.
Miss Bridget's reminding us that there won't be any active shooter drills or mass shootings. I did actually include that in my comment because this person also wanted to talk about safety.
Safety.
And so I have to put that one up there. Let's talk about safety for a second.
Safety. Wow.
They said that it's not safe.
You know, on top of the BS you already got to deal with. Since November, a certain sector of the country has felt emboldened to
What
be
country? What country are you talking about?
in November.
Okay.
This past
Be
November.
Be specific.
Over there.
Well, the people don't know over there.
In the States, in the States.
We're in Ghana, so
yeah. So a certain sector of the community over there is felt emboldened to just be crazy. Basically, I don't know how to. That's just crazy to me, and to say, hey, we want our country back. Back from who? You stole it from the Indians.
Don't call them Indians.
Well, the indigenous people.
Thank you.
The Native Americans. You stole it from them. You want your country back? You should go back to Germany or
I'm
Poland.
having PTSD right now, Tony. You're giving me PTSD.
Why?
Because somebody recently told me if I don't like America, I should go back to Africa, and I got offended by that. But are you trying to do the same thing?
No, but I'm saying, you see, this DNA thing, this where you from, this blood thing. Americans, there's nobody in America
who's American.
Exactly.
Well, there are. It's like a very small.
Those indigenous people, it's and so for people to be like, we want our country back and all that stuff. I'm like, no, man.
Well,
your country don't even want you. Your people came to America when they were like, send us.
No, for a lot of different reasons, for opportunity, for escape from persecution, for religious freedom. There's a lot of reasons why.
A lot of countries open up their prisons and like, get out, America will take you. And that's how their people got to America.
I mean,
it's true. It's history.
It's not untrue, but it's that you.
That's why I thank God I had a daddy in my life and uncles who educated me and brothers who told me what the real was.
You just put that out there like that, huh?
Yeah, because if you don't know your history, they can tell you anything, and because they're not putting it in books, they're not putting it in any literature or on the internet, they're taking all the stuff you need to know off and leaving you a garbage with some woman telling you need A1 in your life. We need to teach kindergarten kids A1.
You just got all of it today. Okay, but let's get back to this idea.
I couldn't believe she really said that.
She really did.
But what was funny? Nobody corrected her. They were like, let's let stupid be stupid. Go ahead.
Well,
stupid.
Well, listen, when it comes to safety, I thought it was very interesting to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
I am also a woman.
Yes, you are.
And I know you can't tell, but I'm a woman of a certain age.
Mid-30s is working for you.
Thank you very much for saying that. I walk out here in the streets all the time by myself. I go to the store by myself. I drive by myself. I walk in the daytime. Sometimes I walk in the evening. There are places everywhere. Every country has some places where, after dark, you probably shouldn't go hang out over there. That is completely true. But what I want to remind you is, I never, ever, in all of my time here in Ghana, have been worried that I was going to get shot in the streets. Tony, can you tell me about how many gun-related deaths there are in the United States on a daily basis?
Oh, daily basis, it's like 100.
Yeah, between 100 to 200.
Yeah, a day. Y'all have more mass shootings there. I don't even want to get into that.
That does not
safety. The only time, and I don't do this. I'm gonna share the story. When my first time coming to Ghana, Pop and I were out for a walk. It started getting late. I was like, hey, let's start turning back because I didn't know where we were going, but he did. I trusted him. So I said, yeah, okay. We start turning back. We go down this alley. We didn't come up this alley. We go down this alley. It's a little narrow walkway, I guess. And I can see about 30, 40 feet ahead of us. It's about 4 or 5, young men out there, doing what young men do in the little back alleyway. And I'm like, Pop, maybe we should go the other way. He's like, why? He's still walking. I was like, those guys down there, look too. He said, hey, if I don't bother them, they won't bother me. So we get, 5 feet away from the guys, and one of them looks and bumps the other and goes, hey. And I was like, okay, here we go. But they stood up, oh, evening, sir. Evening, sir. Evening, sir. I was like, whoa. I would never in the States do that. Even in my own neighborhood, I see some guy, I'm crossing the street, put some distance. I can't run fast, but I'm going to try to get away. But that right there let me know, hey, you know what? If you mind your own business, you don't really have a whole bunch to worry about. Will I travel between Kumasi and another city at night after 12 between 4 or 5 in the morning? No, I would not. You are not. It's something you don't do that one now. You have to pick your. You have to have what the moments are of safety, not safe. That. But as far as I can tell, Ghana is very safe.
Well, it has been.
Yeah.
It has ranked the second safest country on the continent, and has also ranked higher than Canada in terms of safety. So it's a very safe country, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's just not a lot of guns.
Yeah.
So that same burden that you feel in other places, you don't feel here. And when you had that experience walking with Pop, I think it's just very emblematic of how Americans feel about their own safety, especially Black Americans.
And let me tell you, from that moment, I had this thing of I can go anywhere in Ghana and feel safe. I go to Tamale. I walk neighborhoods of Tamale. I don't even
know where you are.
But I just know if I look up, I know the Nim Avenue Hotel where I stay, and I just know how to get back to there. And so I'm just saying, until I open my mouth, they don't know I'm not Ghanaian. And most people, even when I do open my mouth, oh, you've been to the States for a while, huh? Yep, sure have.
Well, and that safety feeling is not just because you're a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know I just saw Shani had posted in here that she has seen a lot of different posts regarding single women being safe in Ghana. I guess I'm speaking as a married woman who goes out by herself a lot, but I can't think of I have been in situations in the States where I was like, I have got to get the holy heck up out of where I am right now. This is not okay. Inside hot flash panic mode where you're like, oh, no. I think maybe, I don't even know if a handful of times here and all the times I've been here. And a lot of those are me being in an area that I'm not familiar with in the evening, that I've had a moment where I'm like, but a lot of that I think is from my American experience, right? Where you're just like, and but not. So
yeah,
a lot of posts, I think you just have to be thoughtful.
We got a lot of family.
Which one? Let them cook?
Yeah. What's up, fam? How are you, Tony? It's been a while. I'm telling my daddy Charles. Sure? That's my dude there. He sure was.
Hit that like button if you're still in here.
And what's we talk? Oh, Liz.
Facts. Feel really safe here. And the person who's posting that is another Black woman up in here feeling safe.
Up in here.
Hey, Liz. Good to see you. Have we met any celebs?
Yes. I don't want to name drop.
Like, do you
want me to name drop? I've been in Michael Blackson's house, and he's like, "Oh,
Stop
how about
it.
that one?"
Don't have to be talking. Do you know what though? I heard Idris was in country. So, Idris, if you're watching, I'd love to have coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have some coffee, all right. Coffee and a couple of these. Come around, my wife, Idris Elba. Please.
Shanny
Uh,
says
I met who did I met? Shirley Ralph at the malls here.
You don't have to start listing all the people. There are celebrities here.
JB Smooth.
Stop
Luke and I
listing.
met JB.
Don't have to list people. Celebrities are in Ghana.
Yeah.
You're busting out people's business. You're gonna run across somebody and be like, shh, it's a secret.
Kanye West knows somebody in community, I think community 12. And if whenever Kanye is missing, Kanye comes to Ghana and just chills out in community 12. And nobody knows who he is. He doesn't do all the crazy stuff. He's just out there minding his own little Kanye West business, I guess. But it's really interesting that I know a lot of celebrities have come here, built houses. They go back and forth. There are even some, Rosario Dawson. She has a business here. It's a beauty product, something, I don't know, something like that. But she's here all the time. I ain't gonna talk about the personal relationships.
Okay.
But, you know, we see celebrities all the time.
Idris.
I know a guy named Tony Jones. He's dating this really, really cute chick. She's on some show called Coming from America.
I heard that.
Yeah. So Tony Jones is dating this TV star.
Shanny says, is it true that in emergencies, Ghana hospitals won't provide services if you can't pay at the time of the services rendered? This is illegal in the United States.
It's illegal in the United States, but it still happens.
But yes, if you go to the hospital, you need to have a way to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this. Last year, a really, really, really good friend of mine, he's like a brother to me. I've been knowing him 9 years here in Ghana. I haven't been here in Ghana for 9 years, but started coming 9 years ago. His daughter got into an accident, a really bad accident. She was hit by a car.
Was she 9 at the time?
No. She was 7.
7, okay.
And very, very serious incident. And it's an incident where nobody is prepared to financially, you know, I was expecting my daughter to get hit by a car. Okay, here's the money.
They didn't think she was, I mean, that first day, they were like, she's not going to make it.
She was 50-50 if she was going to live or not. She waited at the hospital for about 4 hours before they took her by ambulance to the trauma center in Accra. By the time she got to the trauma center in Accra, he had money for her medical services. That came from people in the neighborhood finding out, oh, so-and-so's daughter was in an accident. They need help. And the neighborhood came to assist him. Mm-hmm. And some other people assisted him. So it's not like, you know, if you live in a bubble and something happens, you know, only people can help you is people in that bubble. But like we live in a community. So I would like to think if something happens to me, the community around me that, you know, we've been helping support and back and forth with kids and all that would be there for us.
And by support, he's not saying we give out money to people in the community.
No,
he's saying support, like we go to the fruit stand near our house and support them by being customers.
Yeah. We'll go to the bread guy down the street instead of going to the good place.
The bread lady knows my name. I like the bread lady down the street. See?
I do too.
The bread lady, the bread guy.
The bread lady in 12.
No, the bread guy. He hit on me the last time I was there. He told me he had some hot bread for me. So anyway, I think you say this a lot. You say this a lot, and I think it's really important. If you are planning your relocation here, that you really want to consider where you're staying. I know there are a lot of expat communities and people feel really comfortable in those spaces, but it gives you a different type of experience. And while, yes, you might find that if you are sick, you need to go to the hospital with money. You will also find that your neighbor will drive you there. So just know that. Just know that.
It's just on the medical thing. You know, we don't pay medical insurance or any of that. So if you come here and you say, "Oh, the money I would have paid for my medical," just save that just in case you get sick or something. You have the money.
Yeah. Well, Tim wants to know, are there gated communities there, because he hates the idea of bars on the windows and he feels like he wouldn't need them if he were in a gated community?
Man, you know, Tim, let me answer to you like this. They built a new jail in Community 2, new police station in Community 2. And as they were building it, I'm looking, I'm like, why are they putting bars on the jail? And they were like, "Oh, well, let me tell you. A couple of years ago, the guards fell asleep. Somebody snuck in and opened the door and let all the people out." I was like, "What?"
They must have been sleeping sound to live.
They just tiptoed on out. And then he goes, "You know, sometimes things happen and you want bars on the windows." I'm like, okay, I get it. I hate the bars on the windows myself, but I understand it's a culture here. There are some gated communities, but you know what they do in those gated communities? They still put up bars. I don't understand it. It's a house next to the guest house that just got built. It's a really big house, and there's no way you can get to like their second story. I mean, it's just so high. They got bars on the window, man. It's like, how the heck? Really?
Well, but here's the thing: the idea that you could be if you are a person who says, "I'm in a gated community and therefore I'm safe."
Nope. Those are the ones to look out for.
Those are the people who have a bad story, and then talk later about their bad experience.
Yeah,
so,
because you get to feeling safe. I'm in a gated community. No. That means, hey, they got money over there.
So I know some people have said this before. They hate the bars on the windows. We don't particularly care for the bars on the window either. But when I sit on my front porch, I don't have any bars on my windows because I'm outside. So you do adjust your lifestyle to be reflexive.
Yeah, and if you take a ride through Houston, 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, you're going to see bars on windows.
Yeah.
So it's not anything different from,
but
some places in the States.
Some people don't like it. I get it. Somebody said, are the tariffs affecting us here in Ghana? And has the country experienced significant change because of the tariff? I think it's still too soon. The tariff rate for Ghana was, I think, just 10%.
Yeah, we don't do business with them people.
Stop it.
I don't know. What are they bringing here?
Well, either way. The tariff rate was lower here for Ghana. I'm sure we'll see an impact globally, not just in Ghana, but for every country, as the value of the dollar starts to or continues to decrease, and that dollar valuation impacts global currencies. So it has not been answered. I hope that answers it for you. Somebody wants to know about buying land. Can foreigners actually do it? And Courtney asked a follow-up. She said that she heard that you can come in, but you can only lease. You can't actually buy. Is this true?
Yeah, it's a 99-year lease.
I know. I think it's a misnomer when people see that. They think, I'm going to pay $100,000, and then in 99 years I have to pay another $100,000, and that is not true. Most of the lease systems here
roll over.
And Ghanaians have leases too. So don't think this is just for foreigners. Foreigners are typically held to a 50-year lease, and nationals are held to a 99-year lease. At the end of that lease, there's often a re-registration fee that is put in your contract, so you know what it is. Sometimes it's just a couple thousand cedis. It just depends on who you bought the land from and the process. So we get really nervous when we hear lease as Americans because of our experience, but it's not the same process. It's not the same meaning when you're here. So just know that. Tony, you hit the nail on the head. What you learned from family.
Daryl.
Maximilian says, if you don't want to move somewhere, you can always find reasons not to move there.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
I think that's what a lot of people we get is the negativity is y'all wasn't trying to move anyway. It's like y'all wasn't trying. Oh, see, look, girl, I heard this about Ghana. I told you not to go there.
You weren't coming. Yeah. But Ghana is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. If you can't go camping.
Roughing it camping, like.
I never roughed a camp. Did you ever rough a camp?
Yeah.
We roughed it.
I did.
I didn't. So maybe like, we'll say glamping light.
Ivory soap floats.
Are you bathing in a lake?
Absolutely. That's roughing it.
Okay, I don't do that. I don't know what that is.
Or river, just ivory soap floats.
I'll have to reconstitute that statement. I'm going to think about that one. Tim says, don't forget to hit that like button.
Yeah, hit the like button.
Did Io spend any of her childhood years in Ghana? Yes. Did she learn the language when she was growing up? Yes. When I was small, I actually didn't speak any English, and it drove my mother crazy, and she said no more. Oh, you only speak English now. So I only speak English now. We've got Max. You're about to make Tony beat up somebody.
Yeah. Talking to the brand dude. I see that dude all the time. No one even, hey, Mr. Tony, how you doing? I just hollered at your wife when she was here. Nah, I see why you're all happy. Be like, yeah.
He does have good bread. I like his rolls.
We're going to take a quick break for a minute. Talk to you.
If you are still here and you are considering your relocation, we have a Blackzit moving guide for you. It will give you all the deets on moving to Ghana. It is completely free. You can grab that. The link is in the description box below. And Tony didn't kill me yet, so.
Yeah, I forgot we don't have commercials.
It will give you some ideas on the prices of things, some areas to consider, just some general information so that you can kind of get yourself rolling.
Mm-hmm.
If you are thinking about your budget and how you're going to make all of this happen, next Friday, so a week from today, our video will be about the cost of living here and if you can really afford to come and live in Ghana. So definitely hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss that next video. Somebody said they would love to relocate to Africa, but they're concerned about employment, would love to have a remote job, but not many remote offers for people to work out of country and work remote. Would love to tour Africa. Yeah. I think people think we just like woke up one day and we're like, let's move to Africa.
It didn't happen like that.
It didn't. This requires a plan.
Mm-hmm.
This requires a plan.
It was a year.
It was more than that.
For you.
Yeah, it was more than that.
2019, Pop was like, yo, come. I was like, all right.
No, 2016. 2016 was when you first came and you were like,
I could do this.
And that's when I was like, okay, we got to start putting the stuff in place.
And I was like, yeah, I really can do this. And Pop was like, well, come on and do it. Bring your grandkids.
But I had already started in 16.
Sneaky.
Trying to, it takes a minute. So in 19, because in 16, I thought he's going to want to keep going back and forth. So we've got to have money to be able to like travel like this. Otherwise, every 3 to 5 years is not going to be enough for you. So that's why. Then in 19, when we went, you were like, no, we're going to do this. I was like, well, then we're going to have to tied it up when we did, and that worked. But you have to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot do this on a whim. And it is so true about income. You have to have a plan. Yeah,
have a plan. And Ghana is one of those places, especially for women. Entrepreneurship is a great place to be here in Ghana. If you're looking to get your own business started as a woman, Ghana is the #1 place for female entrepreneurs in the world. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
I did not know that, but I believe that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I totally believe that. There's a lot of like Yeah, I
The
100%.
ladies here make it happen.
Y'all, the ladies everywhere make it happen. Just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody said, where did it go? I lost it already. They said, I saw you and him bathing in the lake. You were holding hands, and I'll never be this. They're singing you a song about bathing in the lake.
I don't know that song. Sorry.
I don't know it either, but it is very funny to think of you bathing in the lake.
Yeah, those were, that's it. Well, you can make it in life,
You can bathe in the lake, you're gonna be okay.
Spend a 3-4 day weekend out. What was that noise? What was this? Hey,
that might not be for you.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said, it's true. No country is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes in the States, exactly what you're saying. Not every state is for everybody. Some people go to New York City and they're like, I could never live here. I love living in New York. You wouldn't live in New York.
Where New York is big, like where New York?
Manhattan.
Like Bed-Stuy or
Manhattan.
Queens.
Yes, up in Queens. Let's do the Queens because I like it in Queens. I was thinking about it.
No.
How about West Virginia?
Oh, hell no.
Oh. How about, let's do like one, Florida. That's like a popular one, right?
You went from bad to worse.
How about Montana? You could ride a horse. You could wear chaps.
Okay, so obviously it's late and my wife is tired and feeling the effects of
I worked a long day today. Key says, Virginia.
I can do Houston. It's just, I've found as an adult, racism in America is really weird because the racism in the North is very hidden. It's there. It's that glass ceiling you can't, break through. And, you can go and go into an establishment. Hey, I like employment application. Okay, here you go. Fill that out. Check out all the boxes and just give it to them. Okay, we'll have somebody call you. And then as soon as you leave, they throw that in the garbage. That's racism in the North. Racism in the South is, we're not hiring today. Okay, can I fill out an application? No, you can't. We're just not hiring.
So which do you prefer, though?
I like the Southern racism.
You just want to know up front and just
put it in my face. Let me know what I'm dealing with. Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. That's a little.
Yeah, that way if I see you stuck on the side of the road and somebody ran you over, I'll know to just go right around and keep going.
Tony.
There's no use in me trying to help you because you're not worth my.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so Jasmine says she's been trying to get to Ghana, but she's afraid to be on a plane that long. I would say you can lay over in Europe and take a little mini vacay.
Don't do that.
Yes, you can.
Direct flight from New York or Dulles.
That's 10 hours.
Yes. Now
Dulles or New York
why.
to Accra is a 10-hour flight.
You get on a plane. They're going to give you something to eat.
They are.
They're going to put you to sleep.
They turn off all the lights.
They're going to wake you up out of your nice sleep to feed you again just so you go right back to sleep.
Just a little nap. Or you can stay out and watch a movie.
You're going to get up for a little bit.
Then you're there.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
It is very nice. But if that 10 hours is like, no, I can't do it. You can 6 hours to Europe and then 6 hours from Europe or 8 hours from Europe and get a little mini vacation. I love doing Amsterdam. We've done France. I would skip London.
Do not like London at all. Every time we go, there's always gray and cold. Like, this is summer.
So just know, right? Like you can break that up if you want to have some different experiences as part of your journey. You can call those.
Get me there.
You can call those little mini vacays. Got people here who are like, no, definitely the direct flight. Mm-hmm. Afraid flying, especially now with the planes the way they are, with things the way they are. Yes, completely agree. People are saying they agree with you on the Southern.
Yeah, Southern and
racism.
Yeah, absolutely.
West Virginia, a lot of racism as well. BW, saying you have to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you have to have a plan. It's not going to work with a plan. Somebody's saying that they're going to retire and they want to teach computer IT information skills here to younger students. And I'm sure there's a school
That
that
would be
will
great.
snap you up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Or
Rob,
start your own school.
Rob wants to know if it's a good place for retirees on a fixed income.
Absolutely. We had a Mr. Gerald, what's his name? Gerald. Yeah. OG Gerald, Uncle Gerald. I call him OG Gerald. He's a good guy. He's living on a fixed income, and I think he's spending about $800 a month here. It's just him, 1-bedroom apartment, but his expenses don't go past $800 a month.
I mean,
and he's living pretty nice. He's in Community 12.
I think y'all will be shocked when we go through our budget next week. So definitely join us for that episode, because there's a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, living in Ghana is so expensive. It's like living in the States. That is just not true.
Mm-mm.
That is just not true.
Those are those people living in Accra who are living that lifestyle.
Well, okay, yeah, you can do it. You can burn through that money fast. You can choose to do it.
But if you're just a regular person like we are, we go do fancy things once in a while, but loving life. Y'all are hilarious.
Well, I feel like we are at that point now where we're gonna have to start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
So before we go any further, I just want to remind folks of this video that we kind of gone through so far. We really did talk about how leaving the West is on a lot of people's minds. If you are a millennial, kind of everybody but baby boomers. This is on your mind.
Yeah.
Yes. If you are a person of color, if you are a woman, you're definitely not feeling so great in the spaces that you're in right now, you have options. And I think that's the message we always try to share.
Yeah, you got options. You got options. Just and with that, just with any smart decision, think about it, check it out, make your decision.
Yes, because you have options, but Ghana ain't for everybody.
No, not at all. Obviously, because people keep making videos talking about, oh, I told you not to go. Oh, Ghana's this, Ghana water keep going out.
But listen,
get a poly tank like we got.
Do you remember a guy called you and he asked you to do an airport pickup? And then he was like, when I get there, I'll need to get my last Social Security check. I need to know.
Desperate to leave.
He was desperate to leave. What he was basically saying was like, I got $1,000 a month, but I don't have my 1,000 yet. Is everything gonna be okay? And you're like, sir,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You got to slow your roll.
Yeah, if you don't have that 1,000 in your pocket now, nobody lending you anything here.
Yes. So Ghana's not for everybody. You got to have your ducks in a row. You have to have a little bit of flexibility. You got to ditch that American baggage. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's just not going to be for you. But the most important thing that Tony says, time after time after time, you got to come here first.
You got to visit. I was like, what do I say time after time? Is it time to Charlie out? I was like, what am I? I was lost on that one, y'all. I was like, where is she going with this?
You tell people all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, come check it out. Come see what we got at the lodge on our tours, day trips. We got a relocation thing, a tour that will have realtors go out with you, look at new developments, look at lots and plots and see what the prices are on those. And
get out to the stores and see what things you can get easily, what things need to be shipped, what things you were thinking about shipping, and you're like, wait, they have 5 million of these. Why would I buy that? I should just sell it. So I think that I like the part where we go shopping because I feel like it helps you to understand your budget. But if you are interested in that, grab our relocation guide. It is free. You can grab that Black Sit guide. It's got some pointers, some ideas of things that are just good to know so that you can get your journey started. But if you are ready to go on a tour, check out what we have to offer at expatlifeghana.com/tours, including the relocation tour, if that is something that sounds like it would be good to you, because it sounds like a lot of y'all are ready to start your Black Sit. So
yeah. We can help you.
We definitely can. It's just unbelievable, all the conference calls that we've been having with people, helping them out. The stories are kind of getting to be a universal feeling. So if you are feeling it, you're not alone. It's not just you.
And some are just downright sad at this point. It's like, man, another one.
There's been a couple of them where they're just there's a sadness to it. So definitely, you have options. You have options. You have options.
Yeah, and if you I was thinking about that one of the last consultations we had. I was like, these are people with a little light that they have to shine, and it's like, yeah, it's my time to shine. And America's like, nah, we don't need that kind of light right now.
Well, and honestly, people are always so judgmental, like, oh, Ghana has all brain drain. As soon as people have any kind of education, or they leave. I'm actually surprised at how educated and well experienced and successful the people who are on these conference calls with us are. There are people who are kind of revert that.
Yeah, if there is a brain drain, it's been replaced. So I can't say it's a brain drain because
it's
those who are leaving, the people coming back, they're like, hey, I'm coming back trying to do something.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends here, they're like left Ghana and been away for 20, 25 years and come back. And now they're all like, yeah, we're here to make a difference. So,
yeah. Again, if you want to grab our blog zip guide, it's the link is in the description box. Don't forget to join us next week where we're going to talk all about the budget and show y'all the receipts. But Jet, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Yes, one of our favorite people.
Definitely. And we've got somebody here who's saying, yeah, when it comes to money, it's definitely cheaper to live in Kumasi. Accra is not the only spot.
People say the housing is so expensive. It really depends on where you are.
And how much house you need and how much house you really need.
Because you can go buy a $400,000 house, or you can buy a plot of land someplace else, or $5,000-$10,000 and build $100,000 house, and it's the same house, same square footage, everything.
You can do it for even less than that.
It's like I was talking to somebody about our house that was in Houston, and they were like, oh wow, and they were from California. And that's like $1 million and a half. I was like, man, listen, that's a couple $100,000. They're like, oh, out in California. I'm like, well, same thing here. Depends where you're at, how much that house is going to cost.
Someone said they spent $150 on groceries yesterday and another $120 at the meat market today. Yo, we coming to your house.
Wow, I know. What you cooking on
the grill? You spent 1,500 CDs at the meat market?
Oh no, is that remote?
Oh, is it in the States or in Ghana? If that's in Ghana, like you bought 7 goats,
I know,
a cow.
That's a lot of money on meat. 120.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to point that out because I was like, wait, what? All right. I guess I think that's it. We got a lot of people talking about money, but that is next week's show.
Oh, check. Yeah, Tony, just give me a call. hello@expatlifeghana.com. Shoot me email. We can chat about, you and Jack getting out this way. That dude was like 7 feet tall now, I bet. Wow, that's a big old dude.
Cassandra, cash on hand. You will probably have to pay rent upfront for 6 months to a year. So it depends on how big of a place you want to rent. And also transportation tends to be an issue. If you are trying to buy a car, then you are going to have extra money in pocket. If you don't, then how much cash in hand? I mean, I would say I
don't know your lifestyle.
Yeah, it does depend on your lifestyle, but I would say don't roll with less than 5,000. Just what?
For how long?
She wanted to relocate. outside
Why
of
don't
rent.
you just hit us up on do a consultation with us?
Okay,
We can talk about that.
it's okay. I think that's good. Okay, anyway, all right. Whew. We
That was
gotta
a lot. Yeah.
we gotta get on out of here. That's you then.
I was looking at that last one. Who's it? Tim Black. Tim. Not to get in y'all business, but it has your legs. I don't even know, man. I stepped away from that. But yeah, I still want to move to the degree. You got people out there laying something you're trying to help me out with?
And with that,
we are one. And with that, Charlie, out for now.
and then I'm not even ready with the thing.
Hey, you're not ready.
Okay,
y'all get it? We are one. Hello, we are. Y'all thought I was singing Maze. We are one. We are one. That was a nice song too.
Oh my God, I was all the way back in the 80s. Heartache to heartache.
Oh my goodness. All right, Charlie off now. IT, click.
We are strong.
Now y'all see how different we are. I'm singing Frankie Beverly and Maze, and she's singing
Love is a Battlefield. What are you
I don't
talking
even
about? It's like,
who's that? Pat Benatar or somebody? Who's that?
I'm not the one who knew who sang it, so don't try to low key play.
Is that really Pat Benatar? Oh my God!
He's a moment.
Oh man!
Trying to call me out.
I
Don't try to call me out like that.
I went to a very diverse high school, and I was just guessing. I was like, name a white lady. I was gonna say Cyndi Lauper, but I knew it wasn't her. So Pat Benatar was the only white lady I could think of. And
there you have it, folks.
If my life was on the line, I would have been like, Jamie Presley. But here I am. Anyway, y'all, thanks for hanging out.
Just know, that's all I'm saying. Just know.